during the height of the farmers' dispute, when they all went to London, all the tractors, and over this insane inheritance tax the government have put on farmers that are completely going to destroy their families, their farms, the heritage, you name it. This idiot here, right, is one of the biggest dangers to democracy, in my opinion, because he doesn't get investigated about anything he says. He said it was okay for someone to go out and shoot Donald Trump, basically, and nothing is done about it. Imagine if someone who's not in the establishment eyes said that. They'd be hammered. You want me to upload the actual, I think I will upload it just for a laugh, the actual whole segment of this discussion of when this farmer absolutely destroyed James O'Brien. It is absolutely beautiful, but this is a Dan Wootton on his show talking about it. This is just, you see a little clip of what happened there.
I know you're happy living in your liberal elite world of London, but for us, the countryside is the countryside. It's where our food comes from, James.
So you've been offered.
To have forgotten that.
You
seem to have forgotten that, haven't you, James?
Charlie, you don't.
Accept it.
Okay, mate. I'm going to have a
I'm
little.
not your mate. I hate you. I think you're an idiot.
Okay.
I think you're a lefty, liberal, woke idiot.
I just have to give you this guy's name. You're going to understand what I mean. James O'Brien. In March, he won my first ever 50 worst people in the UK list. I will be updating that in just a few weeks' time. I'm very excited. But this year, he makes number 10 on the worst of 2024 for the increasingly unhinged way that he treats the callers on his show. These are loyal people who listen to him. Dr. Renee, let's not go there, but he's looking pretty unhealthy, if you know what I mean, as well.
He looks quite angry all of the time, doesn't he?
Very angry, very red. He's very red. Yeah. But I'm going to show you one of the best moments where he was owned over these farmers' protests by a caller, and it was beautiful to watch.
He was destroyed.
Did you know that Amazon has a $50 million fund that they have to pay out every month? And here's how you can get a cut of it.
Shouting at me again.
Panels, we've had the offers for wind farms.
Well, there you go. Then what are you complaining about?
Because we don't want to concrete over the land. I know you're a townie. I know you're happy living in your liberal elite world of London. But for us, the countryside is the countryside. It's where our food comes from, James.
So you've been offered.
To have forgotten that.
You
seem to have forgotten that, haven't you, James?
Charlie, you don't.
Accept it.
Okay, mate. I'm going to have a
I'm
little.
not your mate. I hate you. I think you're an idiot.
Okay.
I think you're a lefty, liberal, woke idiot.
Okay, Charlie.
Let's tarmac the AOMBs. Let's tarmac them.
He's destroyed.
Yeah, get some solar farms on there. Yeah, why not, James?
I think
hey, James, you like immigrants. You probably want to see some homes there as well, don't you?
Well, down with homes.
When was the last time you went to a farm?
I grew up on a working farm. I probably should have mentioned that sooner. I grew up just outside Kidderminster in Worcestershire. The farmers are all around Chaddesley, Corbett and that area.
So what, your dad was a farmer?
Absolutely. No, I've explained several. Do you listen to this programme?
So when you... No, I don't.
Well, how can you have such strong...
I think you're an idiot.
How can you have such strong views about me then?
Because the few times I have listened to you, I heard how you speak to people. You talk over them and cut them off, like you've done to me.
Down with that sort of thing, Charlie?
You are down with that, I know. That's
I mean down with talking over people and shouting at them.
I'll shout at you. I'll give you everything that you try and give me.
I've tried to give you a fair hearing.
You haven't. You haven't at all.
Okay.
I pointed the facts to you and you won't accept it.
Okay.
You know nothing, James.
He is telling his producer, cut him.
Stick in your London liberal lefty wokeism. You know nothing about farming.
See?
From your time on Talk that James was giving that little message to the producers saying, turn this guy down, he's owning me, I've got to get him off, which is why his voice faded out at the end there, because James O'Brien actually can't handle it when someone brings him the truth.
No, but they never can they? Because they're so righteous in their lefty, wokey, liberal ideas that they really do believe that anyone who doesn't agree with them is stupid. Really, that's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, Bernie, I believe that James O'Brien is a really nefarious force for this country. Do you know there was an investigation this year showing that he's had something like 900 complaints to the government since as the off-communist, and they have chosen not to investigate him once. And that just shows you, doesn't it, the complete two-tier treatment compared to how the off-communists overly regulate GB News, for example.
Absolutely, because he's on their side. He's parroting their narrative. He did exactly the same thing during Brexit. And for me, I don't think James O'Brien has any intellectual neutrality. He has no emotional intelligence because he's unable to see any kind of opposing view at all or listen to anybody else's arguments. I mean, I phoned up his show during Brexit because I hadn't told anyone how I voted, and I could answer both sides of that argument. And he wouldn't take my call and then just block me.
Really?
Ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. But because he's on the side of the narrative, he thinks he's, anti-establishment and he's all cool and down with it. But he just parrots everything the government wants him to say. Everything. And don't forget, this is the guy who on air suggested it would be absolutely fine if somebody wanted to go out and shoot Trump.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And there was, again, no investigation.
No.
But I think you've just summarised, Bernie, what these people do. They accuse us all the time of trying to shut down their voice. I've been blocked by James O'Brien for probably about 3 years now after some COVID conversations that we tried to have online. He's blocked you, he's blocked me. I don't know about you, Dan, but this is what they think.
Oh, yes, I've been blocked a long time.
So we're in the James O'Brien has blocked us club for a reason, because they don't want to listen. He doesn't listen.
Well, because he can't actually. I'm sure there are some people that you might not agree with, but you get on with, right? You can have a conversation with them. I actually don't believe that James O'Brien has enough information about the other side of the argument to allow himself to get into a debate with anybody, because he doesn't want someone else to be right. And that is just incredibly stupid, because you don't learn anything if you close your ears to everybody else's discussion.
But that's also incredibly common in this debate, isn't it? So the people who really have the facts, and that's why he blocked me, because I had the facts about COVID and he couldn't argue with them. It's incredibly common, but also incredibly stupid, as you rightly say, because eventually the facts and the truth will win out.
But that's why these people, and, James O'Brien is part of that activist club, right? So because they can't fight with you on the facts because you're right, what they do is they wait for the slightest little mistake and then destroy you. Just do whatever they can to destroy you for a mistake. I don't think James O'Brien ever putting his hand up and saying, "Oh, I was actually wrong about believing that guy who said there was a paedophile ring."
Carl
But
Beach.
he never said that.
Exactly. Carl Beach, one of Britain's biggest fantasists who turned out to be a paedophile. James O'Brien platformed his false story for years.
And so he made a mistake. Okay, it was a genuine mistake, but no one else is allowed to.
No, indeed.
No.
Although I would claim, Dr. Renee, though, his genuine mistake was clouded by political ideology, because actually he wants to destroy his enemies. He wants to silence his enemies. He doesn't believe people like us should even have a platform. It's chilling. This guy is actually authoritarian in his approach.
Absolutely.
They're authoritarian, but there's also an intellectual snobbery.
Oh, yeah.
There's an intellectual snobbery that we can't possibly think this way and be intelligent. Those two things don't go together in their mind.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. And I've spoken to many people about that. In fact, it isn't James O'Brien, but I know that they are perhaps good friends. If you don't have a degree, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. What?
Yes.
So if you've got a degree in English, you shouldn't be allowed to vote because you're more intellectually superior than the bloke who's worked on the docks for 40 years and knows everything about that subject. He can't have a voice, but you can because you've got a degree in English. Well done.
Well, of course, because James O'Brien's fundamental argument, the same as Alistair Campbell, is that if you were stupid enough to vote for Brexit, you didn't understand. what you
Yes,
do. And you just
exactly.
didn't get it. It's not that you believed in it. You were too
I'm
stupid.
then because I
And
voted
it will
for
be exactly the same
Brexit.
on the net zero argument as it was
Very
on the
proud of
COVID
it.
argument. They will just close everything down.
Indeed. Indeed.
I'm quite happy to be in this stupid club, though, aren't you?
Oh, big time. Big time. And I just keep saying, oh, just please go off to this bee sly thing that they talk about. Just go. That's absolutely fine. I don't care if you don't want to actually have a debate. You just go to a place that none of us are going to be.